Welcome. Let's take a few minutes to walk through how to take your online surveys. Today, you are being asked to reflect on yourself and your learning environment in general. To do this, you'll be asked to fill out surveys that focus on helping you and your teachers to learn more about how they can best support you in all aspects of learning. Please listen carefully while I give you some important directions. The information collected in this survey will not be part of your grade or reflected on your report card in any way. Instead, you, your teachers, and school leaders will use the information to better support you. Your responses are completely confidential, so answer honestly. If you would like to skip a question, you may do so. You are sharing your own thoughts, and there are no right or wrong answers. If you have any questions or need help with any words or directions that you do not understand, please let your parent, guardian, or teacher know. Your voice is important. Thank you so much for sharing your thoughts and experiences. Welcome. This video will teach you how to read the questions on your Panorama survey. The survey will ask you about your feelings and other topics to help your school better support you. Generally, you'll see 5 answer choices to choose from, as you can see on the screen. We'll go over each answer choice to help you understand how to respond when you're asked about your feelings or your goals in your survey. The first answer choice is not at all. For example, if the question were, how excited are you to go to school today? You would be responding, I am not at all excited to go to school today. This means that you do not want to go to school. The second answer choice is slightly. Slightly means a little bit. For example, you are slightly or a little bit excited to go to school today. The third answer choice is somewhat. Somewhat means you are in the middle. The fourth answer choice is quite. Quite means very. For example, I'm quite or very excited to go to school today. The last answer choice is extremely. Extremely means super. For example, I am extremely or super excited to go to school today. This is the opposite of not at all. Another type of survey question you'll see is a question about how often something happens. For these questions, you'll see answer choices that have to do with time. The first answer choice is almost never. Almost never means something does not happen. Once in a while means something happens a few times. Sometimes means in the middle or occasionally. Frequently means something happens a lot of the time. And almost always means that something happens almost all the time. This is the opposite of almost never. If you have any other questions about the answer choices or what you're being asked, we encourage you to ask your teacher.
Okay, guys, we're getting ready to take the Panorama survey. So teachers, if you have any questions or problems during the test, please revert back to these slides right here, and we can get those taken care of. And you can call support or email them. All students should have access with their lunch pin. And if they don't, because they are new, then they're not going to. But if they've been here for a while, please make sure that they're putting their lunch pin in correctly. So here's one and here's the other. When everyone is taking these surveys, please make sure that you just answer the best of your ability, do your best on each question. When you're done, you will go ahead and click this blue button, which is submit. Make sure that you're completely done before hitting submit, because you will not be able to go back and change your answers after you've hit submit. Once you've hit submit for both of your surveys, you will get to a screen that looks like this, and it says, thanks for taking our survey. That is when you've completed both. When you've completed one, it'll take you back to the main screen, and you will be able to select the other survey to take. So where to find the surveys? So we're going to get to a screen like this. So what I need everyone to do is to go to Southeast District webpage. go to Southeast School, scroll down, see all posts. When you get there, you'll see this link that says Panorama link in My Sabers. You're going to click on it. So the My Sabers is the survey you're going to take either before or after. Hopefully, if you took it before, you already knew where to find it. So you can take this survey first and pause me and then go through it. Or if you're going to go ahead and take the Panorama survey, click on this. And it will get you to this screen of welcome, enter your access code here. Your access code is your lunch pin. So everyone go ahead and put their lunch pin in. Once you've put your lunch pin in this box, you're going to get to a screen that looks like this. And it's going to make sure, it's going to have two surveys. Make sure that it says your name on it and Southeast High School. And when it does, we're going to go ahead and start. I'm going to read all the questions to you if you would like. The first survey that we are going to take is the student supports and environment. So click on start surveys for student supports and environment. And I will go ahead and read those. Classes. Please tell us about how you feel about your current teachers and classes. Number 1, how many of your teachers are respectful towards you? None of my teachers, a few of my teachers, about half of my teachers, most of my teachers, all of my teachers. Please select one. Number 2, if you walked into class upset, how many of your teachers would be concerned? None of my teachers, a few of my teachers, about half of my teachers, most of my teachers, all of my teachers. Select one. Number 3, if you came back to visit class 3 years from now, how many of your teachers would be excited to see you? None of my teachers, a few of my teachers, about half of my teachers, most of my teachers, all of my teachers. Select one. Number 4, when your teachers ask, how are you doing? How many of them are really interested in your answer? None of my teachers, a few of my teachers, about half of my teachers, most of my teachers, all of my teachers. Select one. Number 5, how many of your teachers would you be excited to have again in the future? None of my teachers, a few of my teachers, about half of my teachers, most of my teachers, all of my teachers. Select one. All right, the next section, feelings about being at school. In this section, we would like to understand how you feel about your school. So number 6, how often are people disrespectful at your school? Almost never, once in a while, sometimes, frequently, almost always. Select one. Number 7, how well do people at your school understand you as a person? Do not understand at all, understand a little, understand somewhat, understand quite a bit, completely understand. Select one. Number 8, how often do students get into physical fights at your school? Almost never, once in a while, sometimes, frequently, almost always. Select one. Number 9, how connected do you feel to the adults at your school? Not at all connected, slightly connected, somewhat connected, quite connected, extremely connected. Select one. Number 10, how likely is it that someone from your school will bully you online? Not at all likely, slightly likely, somewhat likely, quite likely, extremely likely. Select one. Number 11, how much respect do students in your school show you? No respect at all, a little bit of respect, some respect, quite a bit of respect, a tremendous amount of respect. Select one. Number 12, how often do you worry about violence at your school? Almost never, once in a while, sometimes, frequently, almost always. Select one. Number 13, how much do you matter to others at this school? Do not matter at all, matter a little bit, matter somewhat, matter quite a bit, matter a tremendous amount. Select one. Number 14, if a student is bullied in school, how difficult is it for him or her to get help from an adult? Not at all difficult, slightly difficult, somewhat difficult, quite difficult, extremely difficult. Select one. 15, overall, how much do you feel like you belong at your school? Do not belong at all, belong a little bit, belong somewhat, belong quite a bit, completely belong. Select one. Number 16, at your school, how unfairly do the adults treat the students? Not at all unfairly, slightly unfairly, somewhat unfairly, quite unfairly, extremely unfairly. Select one. After you select one and you have an answer for all of them, please press submit. All right, we've just completed the first survey, which is student supports and environment. So go ahead and click on that start survey button for the next one, which is student SEL competencies. And I will go ahead and start reading those questions for you. So to better support you, your school and teachers would like to ask you some questions about how you think and feel. Only your teachers and school leaders will be able to see your responses, which will not affect class grades. Please respond honestly. There's no right or wrong answers. Performance in school. Whether a person does well or poorly in school may depend on a lot of different things. You may feel that some of these things are easier for you to change than others. In school, how possible is it for you to change? We're going to do number 1. So in school, how possible is it for you to change? Being talented. Not at all possible to change. A little possible to change. Somewhat possible to change. Quite possible to change. Completely possible to change. Select one. Number 2, putting forth a lot of effort. So in school, how possible is it for you to change putting forth a lot of effort? Not at all possible to change, a little possible to change, somewhat possible to change, quite possible to change, completely possible to change. Select one. All right, we'll go to number 3. So in school, how possible is it for you to change behaving well in class? Not at all possible to change, a little possible to change, somewhat possible to change, quite possible to change, completely possible to change. Select one. Number 4, in school, how possible is it for you to change liking this subject? Not at all possible to change, a little possible to change, somewhat possible to change, quite possible to change, completely possible to change. Select one. Number 5, in school, how possible is it for you to change? How easily to give up? Not at all possible to change, a little possible to change, somewhat possible to change, quite possible to change, completely possible to change. Number 6, in school, how possible is it for you to change your level of intelligence? Not at all possible to change, a little possible to change, somewhat possible to change, quite possible to change, completely possible to change. Select one. Next section, your behavior. Please answer the following questions about how you respond to different situations during the past 30 days. So number 7, during the past 30 days, how carefully did you listen to others' point of view? Not carefully at all, slightly carefully, somewhat carefully, quite carefully, extremely carefully. Select one. Number 8, during the past 30 days, how much did you care about other people's feelings? Did not care at all, cared a little bit, cared somewhat, cared quite a bit, cared a tremendous amount. Select one. Number 9, during the past 30 days, how well did you get along with students who are different from you? Did not get along at all, got along a bit, got along somewhat, got along pretty well, got along extremely well. Number 10, during the past 30 days, how often did you compliment others' accomplishments? Almost never, once in a while, sometimes, frequently, almost all the time. Select one. Number 11, during the past 30 days, how clearly were you able to describe your feelings? Not at all clearly, slightly clearly, somewhat clearly, quite clearly, extremely clearly. Select one. Number 12, during the past 30 days, when others disagreed with you, how respectful were you of their views? Not at all respectful, slightly respectful, somewhat respectful, quite respectful, extremely respectful. Select one. Number 13, during the past 30 days, to what extent were you able to stand up for yourself without putting others down? Not at all, a little bit, somewhat, quite a bit, a tremendous amount. Select one. Number 14, during the past 30 days, to what extent were you able to disagree with others without starting an argument? Not at all, a little bit, somewhat, quite a bit, a tremendous amount. Select one. Next section, feelings in general. In this section, we are hoping to learn how you experience different emotions that may occur in your life, whether inside or outside of school. So number 15, when you are feeling pressured, how easily can you stay in control? Not easily at all, slightly easily, somewhat easily, quite easily, extremely easily. Select one. Number 16, how often are you able to pull yourself out of a bad mood? Almost never, once in a while, sometimes, frequently, almost always. Select one. Number 17, when everybody around you gets angry, how relaxed can you stay? Not relaxed at all, slightly relaxed, somewhat relaxed, quite relaxed, extremely relaxed. Select one. Number 18, how often are you able to control your emotions when you need to? Almost never, once in a while, sometimes, frequently, almost always. Sorry, select one. Number 19, once you get upset, how often can you get yourself to relax? Almost never, once in a while, sometimes, frequently, almost always. Select one. Number 20, when things go wrong for you, how calm are you able to remain? Not calm at all, slightly calm, somewhat calm, quite calm, extremely calm. Select one. Once you are done, press submit, and you have completed both surveys.